to the yard, I'll go to the yard. There we go.
Says live.
Okay, we hot again. Oh,
Are we
hello.
back?
Hold on.
Hello.
Oh,
I think it is.
Hello.
Barbara?
Where did everybody go?
Are we? I
Okay.
don't think we're live.
Oh, it's not. It's a new. It's gonna be a
I
new
got it on the
stream.
other stream. I got one
Oh, it
person up.
is.
We're live. We're live.
It
What's
is.
up?
We are.
We're up.
Everybody's
Right.
still like at
Yo.
the bottom? Or...
Is everybody still over
We're
there
at
on
the
the other
bottom.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I'll tell. Oh, I don't think I'm in the chat anymore.
It's okay. They'll find their way home.
Yeah, let's see it up.
Yeah, we're live.
They'll find their way home. Here, we'll go and share this.
There's six. There's six. We're going. We're
Yeah,
climbing.
they're coming back. Sorry, guys.
Climbing.
The airplane crashed, but we rescued it, so we're okay. I'm putting it back in the chat, in the Discord, and we lost you guys. Sorry about that. Betas, bro. Betas.
It happens.
What are you
It
gonna do?
happens.
What are we gonna do? We're back. I don't think
definitely
we
done
got. Now look,
way
I don't
much
know. I
work.
cannot confirm nor deny that Disney didn't cut us off. I cannot confirm nor deny this. I don't know what
They
we did.
Probably.
They
The
did.
Kiner
I
brothers gave
said-
us too much information.
You know what it is I think
the whole
I
plot.
think that they heard my theory and they're like, "This dude's onto something. We got to cancel this guy." So I don't know. I don't know.
So, if that's her holding a crossbow up front, why do you spell out crossbow?
no.
That's so weird.
We lost one.
We lost
Who we
one.
lose?
We lost a man. There we go. There he is.
Bring him back.
There you
Yeah, get an empty
He's
chair.
okay. He's all right.
Hey.
I want to talk more about this picture, though. Are you guys with me? I don't know if chat heard it before, but I'm starting to think that it could be the Bad Batch is stranded on this planet, and this is them kind of infighting with.
What, you think they're
Losing
going
their
Lord of the
minds?
Flies?
That's what I thought the whole time.
Look, they go
Yeah.
Lord of the Flies.
They're just going all Lord of the Flies, like
Yeah,
right? Like, is that what we're going here? Come on.
yeah. The one on the ground is the pig.
Is it kind of weird that this dude looks like Bill from The Last of Us?
Oh, fuck. God.
He does.
Look. Let's be real here. Now, they're not going to stay on that planet very long, right?
Mhm.
I mean,
Right,
they're going to get rescued in the first couple of minutes. Yeah, maybe somebody throws a blow and Wrecker,
I don't
Record-
know.
beats somebody up, but
That would be lovely if we get off in the next few minutes. Yes.
I think that most of the episode is going to be them stranded and trying to find their way off.
Yeah, me too.
It's gonna be like,
I
That's
mean,
what I'm-
Tom Hanks is going to show up on
But-
Castaway.
I don't know, man. I just feel like they're going to get out. They're going to get out of there pretty quick. It's got to lead to a bigger episode, right? I mean, the whole episode can't be them hanging out, on that planet by themselves for 38 minutes. That's just kind of lame.
It is
Yeah,
Star Wars, and
somebody will
we are in it for the long game, right?
Yeah, but see, this episode has to be good,
I don't-
right? Like, I feel
Well,
like this
Do you
episode
think
kind of
last episode wasn't?
No. But I think next episode they're taking the back seat, right? Like you're no longer driving, you're no longer in the front seat. So this episode has to go good to keep people interested in coming back for more, right?
I think it's still going to be good, but we have to address some stuff with them. Like their team is falling apart without Echo. They don't really have direction, especially if most of us here think that they're not going to be working with Sid any longer. So I think the majority of the episode is going to be about whether or not Sid is going to come to save them, what they're doing to get off the planet if she's not saving them. And that's what the little infighting thing could be. And Omega's going to try to keep the group together and go crazy doing it because, they're all going to be losing their minds. But I think what's going to happen is they're going to realize at the end of the episode, like, we got to go with Echo and keep this team together and actually help other clones and help other people in the galaxy instead of working with Sid, who doesn't even care about us,
Well, we're all right in that the episode is going to end with them telling Sid to go to hell. But I think the main thing to take away is, they're still working through shit before they can actually be a fully fledged team. If they're able to work out their issues in the first few minutes, cool. that would be great. But I think we're gonna be chilling on the island, bro.
Yeah, I think Sabersmith is right. The Echo was kind of the balance of that team. I have a feeling that Omega is gonna kind of run off I think we're gonna get some solo Omega episodes.
Ooh.
Because she's not feeling it right now. She feels so disconnected from the whole group, and they're not getting along. And it's like it's one of those. I feel like it kind of has to happen because I want to see her character advance, and I don't think she can do that being a side character to the rest of the group the whole time. I think she has to be off on her own and have her own. Because think about it, like my biggest complaint about this season so far is that she hasn't done anything, and I wanted to see so much of her. I wanted her to be a big part of this, and I feel like she's very quiet. How many lines of dialogue did she even have?
Omega has been taken over since the show started, my friend.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
But this season, though, she's not. She's just kind of moping around.
I mean, she let the last Kamino and Coruscant know who she was, so that was a good job.
Well, yeah, I was honestly about to say that I think she was just devastated
She's
by
a
the
ghost.
destruction of Topoka City, and that's maybe
Mm.
part of the whole like depressing vibe that she's had most of the season, you know. And
Yeah.
not to mention that, but her family is like falling apart, and she's just like, dude, what the hell is going on?
Your head
Yeah.
keeps leaving your body, and it's freaking me
Yeah.
Now,
She had great moments with Gunji. That was really good.
Matt
But
Cage,
it's,
she's now. Are you giving in this hypothetical scenario? Are you giving her the white armor in this?
I don't. I mean,
I would
I
love
don't
to
know.
see that too.
I think it would be sick if she got that. That would be awesome. I want her to reach a moment where we kind of get a glimpse of what her path is going to be, because she's so clouded in mystery right now, and we really don't know what to make of her. It's very similar to when we first met Ahsoka. We had no idea how long we were going to be with Ahsoka.
Mhm.
It was like, is this like a little thing? Is this she's going to go away real soon? Ends up becoming one of the greatest characters of the entire saga.
But that was because she was cool.
Not at first, though. Come on.
Okay,
At first, everyone had the same reaction. Everyone was like, "What the hell's going on?"
So with that, I read a couple of posts and maybe an article. I can't sure if there was an article or not about people saying that they're using Ahsoka too much. That she is that they're using her too much across the board. And then let's talk about Liam's comment on Star Wars being diluted. So let's put these two things together for just a second. My thought on the issue is that Liam is deluded, that he's delusional, that these guys created a show where he became relevant in Star Wars again, and then he has the audacity to be like, I've made 15 taken movies. Star Wars is deleted. So Star Wars is deleted.
I definitely
right?
missed something juicy.
Yeah, but
So-
Obsession, he don't care like that. He's just over in the distance peeing his pants.
Right, but I understand that. And,
no.
This is about to be. This is about to be your phone in a few minutes, brother.
he's got a particular set of skills, like beating a horse to death. How about that? Right? Like,
Liam will call you up. Don't do it.
that's fine.
Liam's
Call me,
watching.
bro. Here, my phone's right here.
I play the
Ring.
same character in every movie that I'm in.
I mean, here, let's do it real quick, right? I mean,
No.
right? I mean, that's it.
What was the role he wanted
Liam
to
Nielsen
play?
is
Sloppy influence?
Liam Nielsen.
They
One of my
could make-
favorite things.
They could make the same. What was the movie they did
With
with
Nick Cage.
Nicolas Cage?
The burden
where-
of unbearable talent or whatever.
Right. They could do the same thing with Liam,
Yes.
right?
Greatest
oh, bro,
moment.
Is that your Jedi robes and lightsaber from Star Wars? Yes, it is.
Uh,
Right?
Greatest
Look.
Liam Neeson moment. Watch him in Ted when he buys a box of Lucky Charms. Oh no, not Lucky Charms, of Tricks.
Tricks.
Buys a
Nice.
Are
box
they really
of
for
Tricks.
kids?
Yeah.
But look, I like the guy. I like his talent. I think he's a talented actor. Yes, he's beat a horse to death. But doesn't it feel a little foolish when you first get the call to do the part again, and you get all excited and you still have your old lightsaber and you're pumped about it, and then you flip 15 seconds later and you're like, oh, Star Wars is diluted, there's too many spin-offs. This coming from the guy who's made 5 Takens or whatever it is. Like, how many times are you gonna let your daughter get taken, dude? You're supposed to be this badass spook. Like, come on. Like,
And is there like a big following of people that think spin-offs and things like Rogue One or Solo take away from the trilogies?
Yeah. So I'm not gonna lie. I kind of heard that sentiment before. And look, the only thing, the thing that he says that really sucks about it is no Kenobi and Qui-Gon Force Ghost Adventures. But I think that he is somewhat right in that the mystery, because we are starting to uncover these people's past. When the first one came out, everyone was like, "Ooh, the Clone Wars, what's that?" And we're figuring that out now. But I don't think that is like diluting in the sense that it's going to get tiresome because we're about to be introduced to a whole new universe in this new Beyond era. So I think he's a little delusional on that end, but I do think he has a point in some aspects of what he's saying. Like, just
but somebody send him the link for Tales from the Jedi, because he clearly didn't watch that shit yet.
But I mean, even,
you're telling me that took away from Qui-Gon, and he wouldn't be like freaking out about watching those episodes?
He was literally in it with his
I
son.
would say he doesn't have to watch.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's saying that dilutes it. I don't know.
Well, but look, I mean, let's go one step further. It's not like these two. Look, it's not like these two shows weren't already going to be something, right? These things were original ideas with Solo. The anthology for Solo went bad, so they went back to the drawing board and rethought this. These were original ideas when they started to make movies again. Now, yes, Solo didn't go well, and it is what it is, but ultimately these shows, and again, and I am still holding true to the fact that you guys are trying to judge a book after the first 2 chapters, right? You're literally sitting here judging a story in the early stages. And so for me, like, let the man finish a story, right? The Book of Boba Fett wasn't the action-packed adventure that you wanted it to be, because they're telling us why Boba isn't going to do that in the future, right? You got to try shit. So for me, it just seems like you're judging this in the middle of the story, and this is going to hold and grow better with time. Both of these spin-offs, right? Both of these spin-offs are going to age very well.
I'm just actually reading the article now. I didn't know that Liam Neeson said this. I totally missed this.
No, yeah, I saw it.
I'm kind of curious because I wanted to see what was his actual quote. I was like, is this something that's like room for interpretation or what's going on?
But he straight up said it.
No, he straight up said it.
He says it's damaging its own magic, and it's diluting it to me, and it's taking away the mystery and magic in a weird way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's delusional. He's delusional.
Yeah, but they write that check. It's like Harrison Ford.
Well, he doesn't mind cashing that check either, does he?
Why'd you play that character? Because they wrote the check.
Right. But then you're going to sit here and come back and boomerang back and be like, oh,
they suck. It's just, everything's diluted now. There's too much.
Right? There's too much that you're not involved in, that you're not getting a cash check. That's what he's complaining about.
We don't have to adore the actor. You just have to love the part, man.
Right, but my point is that he's just mad he's not getting more checks. Yeah. Right? You got one tiny check. They're not making the Adventures of Qui-Gon Jinn, because you're 150 years old now. Right? So be done, dude. Like, if you don't got nothing to say, shut the fuck up.
Preach.
Right? Like, you don't have to be.
A lot of people need to do that.
Right? I probably need to do that more. I'm trying to take my own goddamn advice.
I'm just saying, I grew up with the thumper rule, which is exactly that. If you don't got anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. You know what I mean?
Is that what they called it?
Yeah. That's literally in Bambi. Bambi, my guy.
Oh, I mean, I know who Thumper is. Thanks, guy. But
come on, my dude.
Back in my day.
Back in my
Bambi is all we had.
Yeah,
It was.
Yeah, right. Thumper was all we had.
Yeah, right. 5 years old, go to the movie theater, see Bambi.
You're like,
just hear the
I
shotgun
get to
blast.
watch. I get to watch somebody's mom die in the first 6 seconds of the movie. Way to make me cry, dick.
Tortured.
Um,
Then, like a couple years later,
That's a
you're
Disney
like,
thing.
"Hey, Lion King looks cool."
right.
Did you guys see that side by side of the Stampede from Bad Batch last
Yeah.
week?
Oh, that's the
was
first thing I
Yeah.
thought of. I was like, oh, that's the Lion King.
I saw she posted.
The same trench. It's the same trench.
I posted it and added Jennifer Corbett, and this dude did the meme of Simba getting thrown off the cliff. I was just like, really, bro?
Yeah, it's. I mean, you know, there's always going to be a little bit of that regurgitation, maybe, but yeah, you know, it is what it is. Moving forward, let's talk about some Mando. Season 3 is coming. Things are getting hot. I have a hot theory.
Ooh.
Everybody watched the trailer, and everybody's like, you know, oh, Bo-Katan's kicking him off Mandalore, right? And she says it's gone, right? There's nothing left, right? That's the quote. I feel like she's talking about Beskar. She's not talking about Mandalore. She's talking about the Beskar in the mines. The Empire took it all. There's nothing left. Go home, right? And I think that's at large because maybe he brings the armor with him, right? So, no, right? I'm trying to get it out of your way.
No, you're good.
I was just thinking, you guys were saying to do that. I haven't seen this thing up on the screen at all.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna.
I didn't know
Like
it'd
a
be that
slap
big.
sound effect when it comes on, just like whoosh.
Macking somebody in the face. But yeah, I mean, I think that this is here, and we'll even do this here. This is what I like about this, and we're gonna and because you did this, we're gonna do a
screen key.
Oh, a little sad guy. Phil, right
Hopefully
on top.
people
There we go. How's that?
get it.
Okay, so so you did it, so we're gonna do it real quick. Let's jump out of here. We're gonna take you guys out for a minute. We're gonna get rid of this, and we're gonna do what I like to do for Opus, and these are these Opus promos. So yes, we crashed, unfortunate, but maybe somebody pushed the wrong button, so I'm gonna put it on that. Maybe somebody got greasy fingers and accidentally touched something they shouldn't. I'm not going to put any names out there, but somebody touched something they shouldn't. So we're going to mute everybody and we're going to go at it. So, all right, Opus. Opus is giving us this awesome beta program, and they're giving us the opportunity to show you guys something different. Now, in case you haven't noticed the emoji bombs, in case you haven't noticed the emoji rain and the memes and all this other stuff, they're giving us this for you, the user. Now, Opus is new. It is still in beta. Everything is a little crazy, and everybody has everything on their menu. So make sure you get out there, support Opus on Twitter, and get out there and get yourself a beta. If not, wait till it comes out because it is fire. Everything they're doing, from the emoji rain, the video comments, all of this is geared towards us and towards you, the viewer. So make sure you guys get into it. We're going to bring the rest of the kids back into the show. And I don't know where everybody bring yourself in. Because if I click you, then you click you, then everybody clicks you. So you guys just click yourselves because everybody's got control.
Are they paying for that promo?
No, they're giving me a free beta. So I'm giving them some love.
I'm just saying.
Do they have control?
No.
All of you have control.
Yeah. I'm just
I
saying
don't know
if
what
they
I'm
paid you
doing.
for a promo or
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
They don't pay for it, but I give it to them because they're kind enough to let us play with their beta.
Just made me the thought.
Pause.
I think this stream has lost the magic in a weird way. I think it's diluted.
I think it's diluted. Just like my delicious soda that tastes better in this Matt Cave cup.
Oh, it really does, doesn't it?
Everything
I
tastes better in
added
the Matt
that
Cave
flavor
mug.
saver in there.
It does.
It's like
At the bottom
Definitely
of it,
not
there's
diluted.
yes, it's not diluted. It's delicious. So make
Such
sure you
as like,
get
hold
the
on,
Matt
guys.
Cave's merch shop.
Right now, we're going to talk about this particular brand of prophylactics. Yeah, my wife got pregnant, but that's not the point. That's not the point.
So yes, we things have gotten straight out of control, and we are going to try to reel them in, but that never really works. Okay, so let's talk about Mando. What's coming? Wow, you guys are just full of conversation now.
I'm in the chat. Sorry.
What's coming in The Mandalorian? Well, I think a lot this season. I think we're definitely getting, a lot of the Mandalorian culture and backstory. I think at some point we're going to see Moff Gideon break out of prison potentially. Because I do think he's probably being taken to a New Republic prison. But we know how these New Republic prisons and things work. It's all going to fail in the end.
I mean, Din Djarin basically took one over by himself, right?
Well, they leave Matt Lanter by himself to guard the whole place.
With a bunch of droids. Yeah.
One little guy is watching the whole place.
That was awfully ridiculous.
I think we're going to get a lot more of the New Republic. I think we're going to see X-Wings. I think we're going to see the New Republic military basically going in and taking care of some stuff. I forget the guy's name.
Carson Teva?
Yeah, he's the I don't know,
New Republic Ranger or whatever.
Ranger guy, whatever. Yeah, I think he's gonna pop up more in this.
I would love to see more of him.
And I want space battles.
Yeah, they just show up and bombard Mandalore again, and they're like, "Not this time, Mandalorians."
I will say we've seen a lot of the N1 in action in the trailers. It looks like so more space battles the better. They've already done a couple of really cool, dogfight, I guess you could say, in Mandalorian season 2 with the Razor Crest and everything. So I'm definitely down for some more dogfights and space battles in this season.
Bro, well, everyone wants all hunky dory. Like, I want infighting, bro. I want the clans. I want the clans out.
Yeah.
Well, I do think we're gonna get. I do think we are gonna get a lot of off-put Mandalorians, right? Because these coverts don't run together. They're all different factions. They're all different. They all believe in that same no helmet, no taking off your helmet stuff, but ultimately, the Mandalorians that are left are still very broken as a society. So you're going to see some people, shooting at each other, making sure Beskar is real. I'm sure is going to be one of the, one of the ultimate tests of walking through into other coverts. But really, this is going to be. I mean, there's going to be challenges for the Darksaber. Let's be real.
Well, I think we see Mando lead a bunch of different colored Mandalorians. The fans that they've let on the show, I think they're supposed to represent different, either they're rogue Mandalorians or they're a part of the different factions that he bumps into. So his clan of 2 just ends up growing as the season goes on because is going to fight Shorty for that saber. I do think that's going to go down. Is
it really a clan of more? I don't really look at it like that. Like his clan, because they're all part of clans, right? Like they're not giving up their clans to follow, just like they didn't for Bo-Katan. They didn't all change their colors. They didn't all change to the Night Owl insignias. They all kept their colors. They just bent the knee, right? And that's all they have to do. They just have to bend the knee.
But Boba Fett doesn't have a clan,
right?
Well, and he may. Now that may happen through the armor. That may have a conversation. She may look. I genuinely feel that these shows. All right, I've given you guys enough time. These shows have an interesting hook, right? So Mando comes out. We get season 2. It's intro a character, give them an episode, segue them to their show. Right. Same thing happens in Book of Boba Fett. We get a Mando episode, sets it up for the next season of Mando, segue to his show. They're gonna do the same thing with Boba, right? They're gonna set this show up where Boba shows up, probably not the whole season, but probably for the stuff on Mandalore, and then he possibly finds out about Jango, right? If he's on Sindari and he's going through some records, maybe Bo-Katan pulls something out and they have a conversation. I'm not saying they're going to be buddy buddy, but maybe there's a conversation where look, your father, and I'm using the air bunnies, your father
That's impossible.
was a Mandalorian who followed Jaster and gives him some background, and then season 2 is all about that background, right? Season 2 of Boba is all about Boba searching and finding out about Jango and Jaster and the old Mandalorians and all that stuff, right? So this is the way that they segue into new seasons for these shows. That's kind of how I picture this going with Boba. He shows up when they go to Sindari. He hangs out for a little bit, finds out something new, and he's like, I gotta go. Right? And maybe he's looking for a clue. Maybe season 2 of Boba is him looking for a clue on the wreckage of Camino. Right?
That's
Like,
pretty sick.
you know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like, there's-
Yeah.
Is there a chance that anybody has his insignia out there?
What, the
Like, isn't it
Mandalore?
the
Or the
Mythosaur? Like,
the
no,
Mythosaur?
Mythosaur? Is it possible that there's another
Yeah.
anybody that has
I mean,
that
that's-
Maybe
sigil?
there is, but I was wondering too, like if
But
Grogu
Jasper-
gets
Dope.
if Grogu gets real armor at some point, what if he becomes like a Mythosaur signet?
But
You know,
Jaster,
and he-
but Jaster was in the old canon, and that's what I'm saying. They could nitpick the way that they have with all of the old canon, and
Uh-huh.
pick Jaster out of obscurity, bring him into the Boba Fett show, and now show that he was Mandalore. Right? He
Could
wants
be his chain code could be found on any piece of armor they find.
right something along those lines that leads Boba to go and start researching Jango and start heading in that backward, into that storyline, because the Boba season 2 can't just be the same story it was before. It's got to progress. And this, like I've been saying, Boba Fett was a setup for Boba to have a reason to join the other Mandalorians. He's looking for a tribe. He's never found a family since his dad died. Finally, he finds somebody like him in Din Djarin, because he looks at him and he says, look, dude, you can go. Like, I'm going to die here. You can go ahead and peace out. And he's like, we die together, right? Here. And I wore this just for this stream.
Yeah.
Excellent.
But
That's still solid.
well, the wrong one. But yeah, I mean, look, these guys have honor, right? And that's a thing between these guys. And so he finally finds people that have, he was a bounty hunter, but ultimately he's trying to form a new way. And he finds people that are like him, and he's like, cool, these are the kind of people I need to be around.
Well, it's not even so much he was a bounty hunter. Din was a bounty hunter too.
Right, exactly.
It's just
So, I
he works for the Empire.
hey man, sometimes you find yourself on the wrong side of on the wrong side at the wrong time.
Hashtag
He's just
Cad Bane
doing a
was
job.
right.
I mean,
At the
we
end of
could
the day,
even-
though, Bubba was just doing a job. He didn't
Yeah.
really.
yeah, he
that's
was
how he
hired by
did it.
them.
He didn't drink the Kool-Aid, right? He's like, this is a good paycheck. I'm gonna rock this paycheck. And as soon as the Empire paycheck was up, he's like, hey, hey, fat man, Jabba, you need some help? I got some. You need some muscle? Cool. I'm gonna come hang out at your place because you got the good digs right now, right? Like, he was always
Mhm.
after the money. He had no loyalty to anybody, especially after Django died.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
'Cause
could
that-
even see, I mean, they could use that de-aging stuff, man, and Tamara can reprise Django.
That's
or
what I'm
even
saying.
Daniel Logan.
Give him the flat top haircut, bro. Give him the flat top haircut, and let him do
Yeah.
some Django scenes in the blue with the armor painted blue, and
Dude, it would be so good.
with
That would be great.
with a younger Django believing all of the buying into all the Mandalorian stuff, and then show why he left, right? Why he's like, I'm out, becomes a bounty hunter, gets recruited by the bad guys, and they make a million clones of him. But show how he got there in a season 2 of Boba, and let Boba learn about Django's past.
Mm.
Right? Like, I think that's
So-
a big hit.
Have
We
you
all
heard the
like-
news?
Oh, what you got?
Have you heard the news obsession?
Which news about Celebration?
Star Wars
Well,
is dead?
Celebration
Yeah, no.
too. Oh yeah, well
terrible.
that too.
It's
of
terrible.
course. But of the future seasons that are coming,
Of which
basically
show?
all of. So Making Star Wars had a report that Book of Boba Fett is likely going into production for a second season,
Good.
according to some of the
Damn.
people working on the ground. So most likely going into production for Book of Boba season 2. They're building up stuff for the Slave One and a new Boba suit, or like just another one for the show, and then they're also ramping up for most likely Mandalorian season 4 production, which Jon Favreau came out the other day and said he finished writing it in post production for season 3. So
Nice.
those are two things, and then also Ahsoka is listed as season 1. So at the moment,
Right.
a lot of people are speculating it's going to be multiple seasons also.
And initially, it was slated to be a limited series, but it's hard for Dave maybe to just do a one season and call it, right?
I'm telling you, in Dave Filoni's sketches, I trust. There is a drawing of Ahsoka on the top of a pine tree. She's got the white robes. Her Leku, whatever you call is that what they're called? The little tails?
I don't know, because I think Leku or the other species. I
Okay.
don't know what the Takurudas are
Her
called. Whatever.
her head tails are literally
Tentacles.
to her feet, bro. They are to
Mm.
her feet.
Right,
Like
but they
grow
did,
with age, correct?
they
So
did discuss this with the live action stuff, that they couldn't basically put
I know
her.
it's a concept, but
Well, they couldn't use the longer. I think they're tendrils, aren't they? Am I saying that wrong?
I just
It
believe
might
it's
be
a
Leku
concept of an
or
older
I don't know.
Ahsoka.
She's
But-
I
not
think
a
they have
fungus, man.
plans for her.
They couldn't elongate the headdress
What she
because
said.
she couldn't fight with it, is basically what they were saying. They couldn't make it work in live action like it was in Rebels, so they shortened it out so that it was feasible for the person in the suit or in the headdress to use it.
Yeah.
But look, there's number one, this season of Ahsoka is going to be visually stunning, because Dave's
Yeah.
episodes have been visually stunning. He's been stunning for a long time before he's making his legit, full series debut. But it's also a little nerve-wracking, because I feel like this one has to be a 10, right? A 9, a high 9, 10. The bar has been really set high, being as he's the grand storyteller.
At Celebration, he said he saw an episode and it was a religious experience. So
Right.
I expect nothing less now.
Yeah.
All killer, no filler, Dave. You can't be
Oh,
saying
boy.
things like that. You can't
Right.
be saying things like that. I'm just saying.
Listen, I've been saying this for like 2 years now to Sheaf. Like since we first talked ever live on stream. What are you most looking forward to for Star Wars? Ahsoka. As soon as I heard about it, I remember when we first announced it. I was like, oh damn.
Well, I am the biggest Rebels stan on the face of the planet. I will shill forever for that show. I might not be. Someone else could be potentially, but I've seen the show like 6 times, so it's like
so good.
that is my show. And when it went to the World Between Worlds, it was like we're definitely seeing this again at some point, and I think it's going to be in Ahsoka. So,
well, I mean, we know it is. It's just not going to be used the way that everybody anticipates it being used, right? Like, so they're going to use it, but they're going to use it much like Ezra saw Kanan in that moment. There are other portals that show a different outcome, right? So he can go look in a different point in time.
I feel like you
and
guys were talking about this past summer.
And see,
He was saying this is going to happen.
he was saying that we're going to see it, but he wasn't saying how we were going to see it. But
We have
ultimately,
rumor now, we know.
she's going to be able to see how it would have changed if she hadn't left the Order, right? Is the big one that everybody is the big scene with Hayden Christensen back in the suit in Ahsoka. That episode in particular is going to take us into the World Between Worlds, and she's going to watch herself as a young woman, which is why this second actress has been cast for Ahsoka. She's going to see a live action Vader and a live action her in younger skin fighting Vader instead of on Mustafar, instead of on Malachor, right? So instead of
Obi-Wan,
Obi-Wan,
it'll be her.
It'll be her,
Mm.
right?
So,
And
do you think
that
she's gonna access it though, or is Ezra gonna need to access?
no, she's not. Supposedly, she's not supposed to break anything in there. She
No. But before that, how's she gonna get in there?
It's
Oh, I
just
have
gonna be a
no
looking
idea.
glass. She's not
I'm
gonna go
fucking with
in
you right
on
now
it.
too, because I remember this exact conversation with you and Sheev, and then ABJ came on the stream after. I remember the whole thing, so I was captivated by
She
it.
is
You
supposed
said
to.
that she can't access the world.
I don't
between
think. I
worlds
don't think
at
she
all.
can. I think she's going to Palpatine that shit.
Oh, you think
I don't
she
know
should?
if she's
Mm.
going to get to walk on the bridgeways and stuff like she did with Ezra. I
Yeah.
think it might be more like a Palpatine in the looking glass kind of thing, where she, you know, I don't know how. I don't know how. I've always felt that Ezra was the key.
Yeah,
It
because
had
he pulled her in. That was
Right.
she didn't go in on her own. She got
Right.
pulled in.
but
I don't
maybe-
think
Yeah, I
it's
don't
that
think she'll
Ezra's
wanna
the
go
key.
in.
I think it opens for whoever needs to be in there.
What do you think? You think it's the room of requirement?
I'm not
Basically,
saying.
it's the room
I'm
of
just
requirement.
saying the force.
I
The
mean-
force.
I need to go and look at a portal, right?
Hey,
like,
don't mock him. He's got you so far. He's winning this argument.
I mean, I can't see it being that way. Now, maybe because she's been in, she has access, right? Right? Like maybe because Ezra pulled her in, she has access. But ultimately, Palpatine wasn't like, Ahsoka, show me the way, right? It wasn't like that. It was Ezra, right? Ezra was the key. And he even kept saying Ezra's the key. So
Well, that's because Palpatine's, so narrow-minded in his view of the Force and the dark side.
oh, honey, come on.
Come on to
Oh,
you.
honey.
The
Now-
Force
now-
does
now
what
you're-
the Force wants, my
now,
guy.
now you're
Palp's also
contradicting
rebuilt
your own
that
guy.
shit.
Come on, don't
Palp's
bag
also
your own guy like that.
rebuilt the version of it, like that last episode, the last arc of Rebels, right?
Rebuilt
What's
the what
that?
now?
The world
They,
between
like-
worlds.
Yeah, the last two episodes, because remember he walks into it. They got the remnants.
That's a
of that
theory.
temple.
It's not exactly that he rebuilt the world between worlds, but he saved a piece of the temple and had that on Thrawn's ship in the finale, I think, or at least the episode before
Yeah.
the finale. And
He-
he basically offers him a chance to go back to be with his parents. But I mean,
But that's him
Who
manipulating
knows?
the world between worlds. He's making him see his parents.
do
But
you
he-
think it is though, or do you think
but
it's just
he's trying-
Palpatine using the Force?
No, I think it
Uh.
is. But he's smart enough because it glows when he goes over to touch the panel on the left. It looked like just a rock, but it started to glow. He did absolutely bring pieces of the temple up, but he can't use them. Right? Ezra has to unlock the door for anybody to get in. And that's why he cons him into it right there. He's trying to play him. He's like, go back to your old life. It's going to be wonderful. And the second he walks through, he can go in with him. That's the play. And Ezra
This might
sees-
also sound like plot armor, but I'll piggyback off of that. The only way that Ahsoka will be able to enter that portal on Malachor is because Ezra's already pulled her through it.
that would
It could
be
also be because she does have the spirit of the daughter within her.
True.
Which
Well,
the whole thing with the world
Hmm.
between worlds is that it has the mural of the father, the son, and the daughter, and we
And the
even
owl
see
is in
Mor-
those sketches
Morai.
inside it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Morai is even in it.
She doesn't
I
have
do-
to enter Ezra. She's already been entered.
But I do think that because the
This is
temple
getting
on
dirty.
Malachor has already been opened, right? Ezra kind of already unlocked that door, right? When he pulled her through, that could be the temple,
My
and that's
man,
going to be
Ezra.
the temple entrance she's going to use
Mm.
because there's an entrance on Malachor,
Ezra's
right?
got
So
the-
she's spending time in the temple. She finds the entrance, and sees herself in it. Maybe gets pulled in because she doesn't realize she can get in, right? Because Ezra has already given her the key, right? Maybe Ezra has to pull the person in. Because otherwise Palps would have been in. He knew how to find it. He knew where it was. He'd have been in. But it seems
Yeah,
like
he's standing in front of it with Dooku conjuring some crazy ass shit, but he can't just walk through.
It
I
could just
still-
be us totally
I thought that was
overanalyzing
crazy.
some cartoon logic. But
I still think that Ezra's gonna get pulled into the world between worlds by Ahsoka, and Thrawn is gonna follow them because to me, they definitely could have blasted off. And I know there's this whole rumor of the New Beyond and everything, so maybe they are in the New Beyond, whatever that is. But like it makes sense to me that Ahsoka would go inside the world between worlds to rescue Ezra because she's looking for Thrawn. Well, what if Thrawn is still on that ship waiting for you to pull him into the world between worlds, technically, or waiting for that moment where she goes to pull in Ezra and Thrawn grabs on to Ezra and follows in with them?
Oh, that'd be
Where
nuts.
would she grab? Where would she grab him?
Have you seen
At
the
what
trailer
point?
footage though?
At what
Show
point
us
in
on the
time?
doll.
So
Where did
I'm
she touch you?
what do you what?
Show us on the doll. Where did she touch you?
I'm saying that before
she
the
hurt
ship,
you?
right before the ship blasts off with the Purgle, that she goes in and grabs Ezra, and Thrawn grabs onto
So you
Ezra.
want
as they're getting
this
pulled
to be
through.
multiversal then? You
No,
want
that's
Star
not
Wars to go
multiversal.
along the lines?
No,
How is
she
that
could.
multiversal?
So while she's on Malachor, she sees a portal. That portal shows her that moment in time, and she does exactly what Ezra did and just snatches him back.
No. I'm not even saying that. I'm saying
I have no idea
that
what you're saying then.
basically we didn't know what happened to Ahsoka when she and Vader fought. A lot of people presumed she was either dead or because we see her walking away at the end, we were like, she has to be alive, right? Well, we found out our answer when Ezra later on in the series pulls her out. We don't know what the heck happened to Ezra and Thrawn, but we know for a fact that Dave Filoni said that they survived and that they're still out there somewhere. I mean,
Right.
again, there's the whole rumor of the new Beyond, but what if Ahsoka's on this journey to find Thrawn and he's supposedly out there? And maybe he is, and I'm just dumb because, you know, even the magistrate knew who Thrawn was and Ahsoka's looking for him and everything. But still, I just thought maybe Ezra could have been pulled out right before he gets blasted off into hyperspace.
Could this have something to do with it right here? Or is it something?
Right, but she's gonna. What we're asking, I guess, and Obsession, correct me if I'm wrong, is how does she do that? Where
Well, that's
is
my-
she?
That's the hook, really, is that, you know, the idea that she can, yes, that she could technically snatch him out of the world between worlds at that moment, the way that she was rescued from Vader. But that then creates a bit of a paradox, right? Because then you're altering time, right? Because how can she?
Well, she's doing the exact same thing that he did.
Right, but she's
I
not.
think you
I
guys
guess
are-
he's
I think
there
you guys
for
are
a reason, though,
overcomplicating the
too.
theory.
She's
mean-
not supposed to be in. She knows she can't play with anything outside of Malachor. Everything has to be a visual because anything she does affects the living universe that she's not supposed to be taking part in. That's
For
the
sure.
reason she stays on Malachor by herself, is because she has to
Oh,
be
that's right.
somewhere
Because she is in between this time
alone,
now.
and she has to stay that 5 years or whatever before the Empire's over. Because if she steps off Malachor, they're gunning for her, right? So she can't go anywhere because she's a person out of time. She knows because Ezra pulled her out several years later, right? Ezra had grown up, Kanan had died. This was several years later. She's not allowed to fuddle with that with that duration of time. If
Her
she
show's
does-
going to span some time then, because it was like years that she had to stay there. So we'll get like a montage. We'll get her force training montage of the dark side tempting her, and then she'll
Yeah,
come
boy.
out with the hood running down the stairs of the temple, not up the stairs, and then
Right,
she'll get to
down.
the bottom.
Well, and
know,
if you
Rocky
follow the
style.
if you follow the
I'm with
cards
it.
that Dave Filoni made, there's moments in Malachor on those cards. She's wading through water. She's got Morai flying
Morai's
off
there.
in the distance.
She
right?
sees
Like,
a Vader image.
she sees puddles
Mhm.
that are shadows of Vader. Right. So the
Yep.
entire time she's there, she's tormented. Right. She's tormented with Vader being out in the world, ensuing chaos, and she can't do anything about it. So for years, the planet itself, the temple itself, is tempting her, right? The entire time, tempting her to come out into the world and fix things. And the world
Yeah,
between
obsession.
worlds is sitting on that, looking in those murals, probably seeing things that are happening in that moment, and she can't do anything about it.
I don't mean to cut you off, but you should refresh your sub count.
Oh, I did. I've already looked.
Just
Yeah.
say what
Oh,
you-
come
Yeah,
Knowledge.
dude.
Where's the?
Congratulations!
I was waiting for
Yeah,
the
dude. Now we can give some shit away.
Oh yeah.
Here, I'll
Hell
give
yeah,
you.
man.
I'll give it to you. Hold on here. I'll give it to you. Hold on. I'll give it to you.
Check that email and hit the partnership program.
Where is
Take a break. Do that real quick.
That's yeah.
Yeah, is that what you guys wanted? There you go.
Yeah.
That's what you guys wanted.
Hell yeah.
Congrats, my man.
So thank you guys. That's great. That's what we've been working for a long 2 years. It's awesome to be in that space. Now we'll see how they won't let me monetize.
Nah, to
So
the moon.
but I mean ultimately this show is the hottest show, coming out. Mando is going to fill the space with some amazing shit, but this supposedly August, September, it's very anticipated to where they're starting to do morning show press. They're starting to really accent and flash this forward, right? So yeah, man, it's definitely something that I think the fandom excited. I think the actors are just as excited, right? Because this is a show that hasn't been out yet. This isn't like Mando where people have seen the action and stuff. This is something new. It's going to have a new look, a lot like Andor was a lot different than Mando. It's going to have a different look.
Do you think this show is going to bounce back and forth in time?
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to be, because obviously when we see Ahsoka and Mandalorian, it's post Return of the Jedi. We're in New Republic territory. But you think we're going to bounce back and forth?
Yeah. 100%. It's she's going to be looking into the looking glass, right? So she's going to be often, yes, there's going to be moments outside of time, but there's going to be a lot of flashbacks. They wouldn't have hired this young actress to play Ahsoka if they weren't going to continuously go back and forth, right? So there's a lot of it hasn't worked in the past. Yeah, I asked them to add that one because I saw it wasn't posting. So
you requested
I requested the emoji. But yeah, man, look, it's definitely yes. You got to request everything to work. Hot dog,
You have options.
What is that? Is that a yam? Are those
that was
yams?
a hot dog.
No, hot dogs.
Oh wait, what the hell?
What are the little red ones? Are those yams?
Oh yeah, we got some yams.
I didn't even know yams was an emoji. Ridiculous. The funny thing is, like, I turn it off and it doesn't go off, which is hilarious. It's totally busted right now. I love it.
Oh my
because
god!
it's usually a reset. Hams, yams, and eggplants. That's right. Hams, yams, and bams.
Bean, potato.
Yeah. So look, I'm glad you guys enjoy the platform because it seems like
It's fun, man.
Opus is
It really
fun.
is.
It seems like everybody has a good time, and that's totally why they do it. That's what StreamYard is lagging. This is where Streamlabs is lagging. These other platforms aren't trying to have fun and get the viewer engaged. I'm going to put this out there again, and I'm going to put it over my face again. I'm going to put it over here so it's not covering one of you guys.
That's not a bad spot
Good
for
right
it.
there.
Yeah, that's good. There.
Yeah, that's what I
Now
like.
now it's inside you.
Yeah, it's right. Oh well, Dan's not here, so I can put it over here. Yeah, I forgot. Dan had to be. I don't know what happened to Dan. Dan's like,
He
you guys.
said it's always something, is what he said.
I get him, but Dan's always
Wi-Fi.
Dan's always moving and shaking. So Dan's cool. I like Dan.
Same.
All right, guys. So look, now that we're at this, even with our faux pas earlier, we are at our 1,000 subscriber mark. So go ahead and if you guys want to shoot some video comments in, I put it up on the screen again. If you want to throw some shade, we'll let you throw some shade. If you want to throw some happiness, whatever you guys want to do, go ahead and throw that. Scan that QR code. This is another fan experience from Opus. Something unique to them. I really dig it. This is part of the thing that I really dig about this software is that they let you guys basically do video call-ins. It's a video comment. Sheev's done one. Look, she's done a couple. Look, here's one of Sheev's old ones.
I don't know what's going on with this, but
He's done a couple. He did that one, and then he did this one from the car, and then you got this guy talking smack.
What's up, Hawk?
I mean,
Just letting you know, it might be a rough night for you. Hang in there, buddy.
buckle up, Bubba. So so if you guys want to throw a video comment, please do. We are going to start celebrating and having a lot more fun with the giveaways. The last stream we did, we agreed that I'm going to give some Survivor away, right? We're going to add that to the pile. And then we're going to decide what you guys want. So I'm going to throw a poll up in a couple days. and decide what you guys want as an addition. Do you guys want some tech gear? Do you want some cameras? Do you want some microphone stuff? Do you want, like, what do you guys as the viewer? Hawks doesn't need anything. Hawks is like, I'm set up now, so he's solid. But you know, as giveaways, because ultimately this celebration is going to be about you guys. I didn't see the squids come through. Did the squids in the oh, there we go. There's some
squiddies.
No, I saw the octopi. I didn't see the squiddies.
The dinosaurs, yeah.
Dinosaurs.
I'm gonna say, man,
you guys, these guys are always adding these things for us to play with. It's great. It adds so much
Peaches
user
for
interaction.
ladies?
I love it. It's,
Oh,
there we go. See,
here.
Nerd Mafia went ahead and made one.
Obsession. Congrats on the 1,000 subs, you dirty old bitch.
See? I love this. I love this. I didn't even preview it. That's how much I love it. But yeah, man, this is the stuff I'm loving about Opus, man.
It's the endings. The endings of his clip.
Should have said you bus driving bitch.
But yeah, you should have said you bus driving bitch. I agree. And there is artwork in the works for that bus driving bitch. We do have a whole bunch of stuff coming. We have a new background coming. So all
what are you afraid of? Leave a video comment.
These sounds in the background are now going to be. There's going to be a Coruscant background with little TIE fighters flying in the background coming up. It's going to take a couple weeks maybe to get going, but I just commissioned that to be made. We're doing more music. We're doing more fun. This stuff is, look, this is why I love Opus, because I'm trying to add more flavor to the streams for you guys. It is fun because you can say really what you want. I mean, I do get to preview them, but ultimately you guys can say what you want. If you want to throw some shade and be like, hey man, you guys suck, X-Wing's awesome. Cool, say that, right? If you want to say like, oh man, you guys are all shills. Look at all these Shillington shits, and like, say whatever you want. I don't care.
You're doing like a solo stream, and all of a sudden you get, dude, you suck. You're like, thanks for that.
Thanks, guys. I stuck here.
Hey, make sure you click subscribe.
Make sure you subscribe and see how much I suck every week. At this
you get like one viewer, and he just keeps leaving you video comments.
Hey, at least it's fun.
As
long as they're having a good time, I'm all about it, man. Like I said, this software is a blast, man. And the fact that I've got a list. Look, I've already got a list just from tonight of like, hey, here's some things we could work on because they are still in beta and we are still figuring it out. But yeah, dude, it's a fun way to interact with the viewer, and that's why we're here. We're here for the viewer. So, moving forward. Who's doing what tonight? Sheev, you gonna stay awake? You got your coffee on deck? You gonna take a little nap? You gonna be all right?
I already got a couple coffees in me today. I'm debating what time the preview stream is, although I'm thinking of making some tacos here in a little bit. Sounds pretty good to me.
There you go. Get something.
It is Tuesday.
Put you to sleep. Well, this is the last week I'm going to bed at a real time. This is the last week I will be going to bed before midnight because next week I will probably be on over at Vader's Lair for the first week of The Mandalorian, because I will not be doing watch parties here. I will be heading over to other channels to do watch parties with them. So yeah, keep an eye out. I think the first week we might hang out over in Vader's Lair and see where we go from there. But okay. So here's see, even the guys from Opus.
Hey guys, Connor with Opus here. Congrats on hitting your 1K subs. What a great stream. Love the emoji rain. Having so much fun watching this show. My Star Wars related question for you guys is, I feel like Star Wars may have a continuity problem, and I want to hear what you guys think about it. Marvel, a lot of its sustained success, even now, though that we're now kind of past the phase where like people are really excited about Marvel and the quality is questionably declined, and things are getting kind of rote and formulaic. I think the way that they're able to tie things together in a more sort of linear or like in a fashion that makes sense has helped the platform or sort of helped the IP build legs. Whereas Star Wars is just so like each individual story is so isolated from one another. And I know Star Wars, like as a franchise, has tried to do a little bit more to connect things. But do you think that overall, Star Wars as an IP needs to connect its storylines much more clearly over time here?
Okay.
Yes. Next question.
Yeah.
That was a great question. That really
No,
was.
that was awesome, bro.
That is
Yeah.
awesome. That's
Singing my praises.
yeah. It's a real concern. It really is because these stories have no choice but to connect. And
Right.
if that connection point ends up being even slightly off, it's gonna be
Yeah.
mayhem.
And I
Yeah,
think
no.
the maybe the smartest, dumbest thing they did was make all the comics legends, because they don't have to worry about that, the fans jumping on them every time they do like some wrong thing to the story. But he is right, and we've talked about it here a lot. I hope this video game, man, starts to tie some things together, and that this Cal character we could see in live action, and it could all just be the start of a like huge web that just connects everything.
Well, and that's
Yeah.
one thing that the game is absolutely going to do. So the first
Hope so.
game seemed like a one-off, right? It seemed like the Adventures of Cal Kestis, the apprentice to Jairus to Paul. Did I get that right? Did I get that right?
For Kanan, I
No,
think
For
Oh,
Cal is
Cal
yeah.
Okay.
I'm off
Charlotte
with
to
it.
Paul, something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So that seemed like a one-off. To get to Connor's question, that seemed like a one-off, right? But ultimately, they had the second seat. The second, from what I understand,
Fuck.
EA Games completely and 100% started making Jedi Survivor immediately after Fallen Order's success, right? They've been working on it for 3 years now.
Yeah.
And the number one thing I'm taking from this is, yes, that seemed like, to get back to Connor's point, that seemed like a one-off. It seemed like its own story that it didn't really connect to anything. But then you fast forward to now Survivor,
Then you got
we're
frozen
getting
with
to
the
see
sun.
Joe Costa News' secret laboratory, right? Her secret library that she was putting together that we saw in the Vader comics, right?
Yeah.
So that in this game is already starting to grab this dot and put strings together, right? And then you
Bro,
fast.
and whoever is the genius that gave him psychometry and the ability to see the history of objects he touches, like you are keep him,
I
pay him
love
however
that
much.
ability.
Like
So-
literally to be able to connect everything.
As far as
Easy.
the continuity, though, I think most of us agree that there is a little bit of an issue here. To Connor's point, and it's not even that big of an issue to where we should really be tripping over it. I don't think, because I think they do a decent job of trying to connect it all. But then, there is little cracks here and there that are imperfect at the moment. And I think they do have to kind of crack down on that. Things that I love, though, is seeing characters like Cobb Vanth being brought from the Aftermath trilogy of books and brought into the continuity of the Mandalorian. It's such a cool thing to see that kind of stuff happen. But then you get the minor continuity details like the Ahsoka book being slightly different from some of the stuff that we see in Tales of the Jedi or even in the Clone Wars itself. So it's like things like that. Like you can chalk it up really to just them not having the full story completed yet, or one person's take compared to another person's take. A lot of the times the way I kind of just deal with it as a fan is be like, it's not always going to be perfect, so I kind of adjust my expectations to where if they want to retell this story later on, they can do that in another medium, whether it's television, live action, animation, and kind of tell it through the story and medium they want. But you still have to keep it to a certain degree of continuity, and changing too much of it is where fans are going to get kind of upset about it. You know what I mean?
At the same time, it goes back to what I've been saying for a while, right? So taking all of this EU and legend stuff off of the table completely, and then grabbing and choosing the stories that you want to use from those stories has proved very, very, very lucrative so far, right?
Definitely.
I mean, this whole idea that I have about Boba Fett season 2 and going back to the Django art, that's comic related, right? That's something that got brushed off the table that I could absolutely see Jon Favreau being like, we got to go back to the Django Fett. We got to at least introduce him. You saw the chain code. You didn't look, Jon Favreau didn't put, I continue to say that this was an L for Jon just based on what we have right now. Ultimately, I feel like Jon Favreau used Jaster's name in the chain code in Boba's armor for a reason. It wasn't a one-time thing. It wasn't a need for this or that. It was literally to further a story later on. These guys are excellent storytellers. So they don't do these little things for no reason. And these little pearls that we get, these breadcrumbs that they give us, to get back to Connor's original question, yes, there has been a little bit of continuity issue, especially with stuff like Solo, but Rogue One stepped right into the fold where with the OT, right? So that kind of that story fits in the mold. The sequel trilogy, now that we have a story team that actually cares about their story before they start cutting and shooting a show or a movie, Jon Favreau even said in his latest interview, yeah, I have season 4 of Mando written. Season 4 of Mando is already on paper laid out because I need to know where I'm going, right? So the storytelling in Star Wars is starting to get better with better storytellers, with people that have a direction, right? The Feige whiteboards of Marvel, Dave Filoni absolutely has something similar that him and John are constantly going back to. So yeah, I do feel like there has been a little continuity, a little bit of continuity issue in the past, but I feel like now with the new story group and the new people in charge, these guys are absolutely telling stories that are all going to connect, including Mando 2. We see Babu Frick. We're starting to see some of these sequel trilogy characters that people hate the sequel trilogies, but maybe the characters that they enjoy will help usher them into the sequels in a much better way, right? So there's hope. There's hope, Connor. That's all I can tell you. Here, if there's one thing you're going to learn here, Connor, there's hope. This is a place where hope. This is a place where hope doesn't go to die, right? This is the channel where hope doesn't go to die. That was my.
Only Star Wars would cast Woody Harrelson and then kill him.
Amen, sister. Amen.
Hey, you know what? Maybe if he could have jumped.
Maybe he didn't really kill him, right? Maybe no one's ever really dead, right?
True.
He's
True.
Woody Harrelson is back somehow.
He's got some modern. He's got some
Somehow
modern
he's
heart in him,
returned.
right? He's got a modern heart now, right?
It's a mod Vance.
His mod band. But look, it's an exciting time. I said it last year, and I do feel like last year was a banger year for Star Wars. It put Star Wars back on the map for the media. It put Star Wars back on the map for some of these bigger actors. Yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Mod Vance.
Right there.
Nice.
And I didn't even open it up. I didn't open it.
Do we see him in season 3?
Love it.
Maybe at the end. Maybe at
Okay.
the end. I mean, somebody's got to run
Well,
Tatooine.
Boba too. Boba
Right?
season 2, right?
Somebody's got to run Tatooine. I think if anything, if we see him it'll be on the way out, right? It'll be Boba saying, "Hey, I gotta go. Handle some Mandalorian business." So, but ultimately, I mean, this is going to be another banger year. I feel like Star Wars is already winning the old Marvel versus Lucasfilm battle is always raging,
Is it?
and I feel like Star Wars is winning so far. Yeah, it's always raging.
No.
Yeah. I feel like Ant-Man, the reviews are not hot.
Oh no.
Ant-Man was good. I saw it. It was
I
The
heard-
audience said it was 85% nice, and the money coming in said it was pretty damn nice.
Why does the fandom hate it though?
Dude,
This
does the
feels-
fandom hate it if 85% of the viewers said it was great?
It's just Rotten Tomatoes, man.
This
Yeah, it
feels
was-
like
let's
this
do it.
feels very much like the sequel trilogy to me.
You know what I think we're all feeling? We're not recognizing that Twitter is only about 10 to 15% of the population.
True.
Everybody
true.
goes on there
True.
and talk shit
True.
about everything
True.
they want.
I'd say less than that. I'd say like 7% of the population.
When-
Oh
you
yeah, it's
got
all toxicity on there.
When you got an opening weekend of close to 400 million, I'd say you're doing okay.
Yeah,
Right.
And,
no,
and
no,
listen,
look, and I agree. But if the numbers talk, Star Wars doesn't suck. Right? The sequel trilogies don't suck if you're talking dollars and cents in the time frame that we were in, right? So again, I'm boomeranging this
Solo
back
lost money.
to the Star Wars. What's that?
Solo lost money.
Solo lost money, but the sequel trilogies didn't.
I'm just saying.
Right?
Damn shame.
I would argue that Solo lost money because of the sequel trilogies.
Even still,
Cop
the
out.
sequel trilogies
Cop out.
didn't lose
not.
money.
Not even
Right?
related to any timelines. What do you mean?
What do you mean,
I mean,
dude?
You tried to
it's
recast
not-
Han Solo. That's the problem.
This is supposed
I
to be
think the real
Marvel
problem
jumping
is
off
the
the
fact
fact Phase 5, right? This is
Here we
the
go.
springboard for Phase 5. I heard it was mid at best.
I don't know. I really, really enjoyed it. In fact, it had a cantina scene. It was total Star Wars.
Yeah, it was Star Wars meets Marvel.
Well, and
Yeah.
see that's the question everybody's asking is Feige turning into KK, right? I know everybody loves the KK conversation, but has Feige lost a step?
What? Does KK
Feige's
have
out.
Spider-Man? No. What are
I
we talking
mean-
about right now?
True.
Did KK go to
True.
another studio and say, "Hey, I want to use
KK has
his most
Grogu.
precious IP"? And
KK's
they
got
said, "Yeah,
Grogu.
okay. After I throw
Yeah.
this sandwich at you, you can do it." No, like it's not what happened.
Grogu or Spider-Man?
They just signed on Spider-Man for like 6 more movies, allegedly. So
I mean, they
Feige
just
is
signed on
not
Grogu
KK.
for 800 years, so...
Feige is so not KK that KK is afraid to let Feige make a Star Wars movie.
Well, I don't want a Star Wars Feige movie. I'm of the
Are
story.
you sure?
Like, yeah, I'm 100% sure. I'm 100% sure.
I mean,
I
you went as
do
far
not-
as J.J. Abrams. How bad can it get? So
I do not want Feige touching Star Wars. I am firm on. I'm. That's a hard stance for me. A hard line in the sand. I do not want to see Feige come into Star Wars.
It's
Stay over
cool.
there with your comic book run and
It's-
ruin comic book runs, and have a great time. And let the guy who helped usher in Marvel to where it is today. Let that guy who's a
got
great
me
producer.
feeling so defensive right now. That's what
Because
I'm
you guys
wondering.
love Feige. That's all. I mean,
Oh,
really,
who
dude,
doesn't?
Just stop me to think
Feige's
about
the
this. Like,
best.
why am I getting so worked up right now?
Because you
I'm gonna
guys,
trigger you even more. Hold on.
Oh yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Trigger, Roger.
You want Feige to do one so bad, okay?
My
You
last
want to
name
do a
is
Star
Rogers,
Wars
too.
movie
That's
so
what's
bad?
fucked up about that.
Feige's gonna come over and do his Iron Man 1 Star Wars version. It'll be Avar Chris, the introduction to the High Republic, and he'll cast Brie Larson as her.
Oh, stop it! I'm out.
I realized that
You
I
want
bet
that
you he
so
can make that
bad.
an interesting
Get
story,
out.
though.
I'm at it. Get out. Get out of here. I no Brie Larson, no Star Wars. Get out. No.
Iron Man
no.
1,
What do you
Brie
like?
Larson, Avar Chris.
Why does everybody? I don't understand why people hate
The only
Brie Larson
issue
so
is
much.
the
I'll
Jon
tell you. I'll
Favreau
tell
already
you in
did
the
Iron Man
backstage
1.
why I
I'm
don't like
saying.
Brie Larson. I will not come out publicly and say it, but I will tell you why in the backstage at the end of the stream. Remind me. But yeah, no Brie Larson in Star Wars. Let her continue to ruin Marvels and the rest of the stuff that she's involved in over there at Marvel. I don't want her
I liked
anywhere
Miss
near.
Marvel.
But was Captain Marvel ever like that great a character to begin with?
No.
I knew nothing
the
about her
only
until that movie.
The only
She was the lady that gave Rogue her powers.
In the
That's the only
second
reason I
Civil
wanna see her.
War, she
That's the only
literally
reason I want
is
to see
just
Captain Marvel.
annoying. She's
yeah,
annoying.
but that was them trying to make her
Danvers is
relevant
annoying.
for the movies.
That's the only reason I want to see a Captain Marvel in anything is I just want to see Rogue take her power and then you can kill
gotta
her off
happen.
and be done. Like I can't wait for that moment because that's one of my favorite things about Rogue as a character is that she like held on too long and stole somebody's power for permanent. Like that's some gangster shit.
At some point after 2026, you'll probably get to see it.
Well, okay, so let's finish this stream off with That's the stuff I like to hear from that grifter. I love it. I love anybody that's sandbagging Mike Zero and the rest, and I'll say it again, the rest of the haters and the clickbaiters and the click haters, you guys, all of you are in the same pocket as the Zero. So I'll say it out loud.
Do the voice. Go.
Oh.
You guys are just so mean, okay? All of my scoops are scoopy. They're super scoopy, and they're wonderful.
That's it.
Oh, man.
So let's finish this off with oh man, you made me lose my train of thought because I was so excited about what we were saying.
You never make me regret begging my way on here. No obsession.
Hey man, you asked for it.
I love it.
So let's just say for a minute that all things are good, right? Mando comes out and it's fantastic. All
Yeah,
roads.
you're the heater too. Damn.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. You're somewhere cold. We understand.
The walls are closing in.
Does the fandom implode if roads start to lead to the sequels? This is how I want to close it out. If roads start to lead to the sequels with Mando and all this other stuff, does the fandom implode a little bit?
I don't
Does it
think
what?
so because we're
Does it
already
improve?
going there.
Is it? I mean, I know we're already divisive, but is that a straw too far for a lot of people? Because I think
No, I
it's
think-
great. I think it's great.
I think the creatives are well aware of where the fandom is right now, and they're going to be pretty careful about what they do.
All right.
I think they have been careful.
Yeah. It's the road is leading to the sequels. Anyway, it's already there. We've already seen the seeds planted. It's already going there. I feel like though we're at a point now where the sequels, I don't think they're getting nearly as much hate as they used to. I think we're in a
Because we don't have to hear
transition.
about them.
Well, think about the prequels. Like it was similar, not the same, but similar, where there was a lot of things that happened right off the bat and a lot of hate for the prequels, but then over time things improved. Things came out like the Clone Wars that added to them. And now we're getting the elements that are adding to the sequels. And I think we're in a transition period right now where overall I think the sequels will be more widely accepted. I think they're very poorly done because they don't fit together. They just don't work as 3 films together. But putting all this new stuff in to build towards it, I think is making it better.
Well, I mean, I've always said that, look, they're not perfect. No show, no Star Wars is perfect for everybody, right? Everybody's going to find something that they didn't like. But ultimately, it feels like right now, with the new shows, at least they're trying to do some damage control, right? I'm not saying that they're going to make it perfect. I'm not saying it's going to be great, but at least they're trying to do some kind of damage control, right? Octopus, I love the octopus is always in there. But ultimately, look, John and Dave are trying to at least make sense of the previous regime's stuff. Let's say I'm not going to praise or poop on it either way, but let's just take a minute and say, okay, at least they're trying to say, well, here's how these guys got there. Isn't that a good thing? I mean, I know a lot of people want this retcon, erase the sequels, start over. But again, I mean, that's not going to happen.
No.
Right? It's not going to happen. So, laxative, great one. Great one, laxative.
I can understand how it would make you
attaboy,
laxative.
laxative.
Yeah.
Laxative,
you probably need a
that's a good
couple
one.
whenever we do get to the post-sequel trilogy. You know what I mean? Just in case. Just in case.
Well, I mean, look, I know that there's a lot of fans that are like, F that timeline. Forget about this.
I'm
Forget
down
about
for
that.
it.
Did Dan come back? I didn't even see him. But ultimately, at least, I mean, isn't it a good thing that they're at least trying to make this make sense and using popular projects like Mando to usher in that wave? Because this is the stuff that's going to start that the ripple in the pond, the stone in the
Session,
pond.
you got to ask yourself first, what didn't make sense?
Well, I'm on board for all of it. I find a way. I find a way to make it make sense if that needs to be a thing.
What questions need to be answered?
Lots of questions.
I would say I wish Star Wars would grab themselves by the balls and not be afraid to fast track to the Snoke at the height of his reign. Young Luke Skywalker traveling the galaxy with Ben, confronting Snoke. Supposedly Snoke received injuries because of Luke. Like, who doesn't want young Luke Skywalker back on the screen?
But isn't that
You're lying to yourself?
Isn't that where Bad Batch is taking us right now? I mean, look, I know everybody feels like Bad Batch is a throwaway story.
The only way you're going to get that live action,
maybe this goes back to Connor's
Luke.
point about Bad Batch feeling disconnected from the rest of the. Even though I feel it's a perfect, I don't know where there's a lot of disconnect at, but for me, this Tantus, this whole Bad Batch feels like a lead up to Snoke, right? It feels like to the lead up to the cloning facility where the Emperor and it has his plan B, so to speak. So, I mean, that's the only place we've seen Tantus in live action in anything, right?
Are you thinking like we get an animated version of Snoke at some point?
I'm saying I think we could possibly see the early experiments to create Snoke.
Palpatine's success, bro. I want to see Palpatine's success in doing this.
What happened?
Oh,
somebody's watching something back.
The stream came down from the heavens.
But yeah, I mean, look, this is the first time Tantus has been brought in, and yes, I know that leads in the EU stuff, and it leads to Sabayoth, right?
Mhm.
But ultimately, isn't Snoke basically Sabayoth? He's created from Luke's Force metachlorians from
The
the hand.
hand, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you are. Dan's here. He's
Or
waving in the
shield.
backstage. Hey, oh, hold on. I got you.
Is that what the PlayStation
There he
is?
is.
I've been trying to get in here.
Sorry, my guy.
50
I'm sorry. That's fine.
Did you fall asleep
Welcome.
earlier or just get frozen? It's like,
No, dude, my Wi-Fi was on some ass. But
you just nodded off. I was like, what just happened?
Yeah, I thought you fell asleep. I was like, okay, click. But I mean, isn't Snoke basically the current version of Sabayoth? He's
Like,
created
he would
from
be the
Luke's
first.
hand.
Yeah, he would be the first clone, but Sabayoth is different, I think, right? They created him from force sensitive material, whereas Snoke was an essence transfer of Palpatine.
But didn't the body have to be force? Didn't Snoke's body have to possess midichlorians for Homeboy to take him over? So didn't we see that in the comic where Vader walked by a bunch of Snoke
jars, yeah.
Jars, and then there's Luke's hand chilling in the middle, like right? So
yeah.
I mean, it seems like they're using Luke's hand to help that essence transfer. But I know Sabayoth is his own entity, force abilities. But
I'm still on my Terran Malicos theory.
Okay, I like
that he
it.
lived.
Okay, so you think he survived under all that Earth?
I think that the magic is keeping him alive, and that he's going to get thawed out by one of the other Night Sisters, and they're going to team up with Thrawn. Yeah.
There are no other Night Sisters.
There is the shorty Ivana Sicano. She's playing a Night Sister that is working with the Survivor Order 66. Look it up. It's out there. She's, yes.
Then Mira lied to us, that little vixen. She was not the last Night Sister.
No, maybe she was trying to protect her.
That little lion vixen. I see how it is. You little liar. Okay, well, look, guys. It's an exciting time. I feel like this is probably the most exciting time for Star Wars, where everybody's been in anticipation in the same way. Ooh, the bird made it. All right. The bird made it to the stream. All right. I didn't think that emoji worked. Thank you, Opus.
Yeah, no,
birds.
It's a good thing that we're going to the, it's not a bad thing leading into the sequels, especially if you read the comics now. So if you don't, then you will be upset. But if you
I think there's a lot that they're pulling from that EU and those comics that they're shoving into live action to get us there. I think that's the biggest thing that I enjoy is that they're. Oh, did I go robot for a second?
You did.
Did I go a little robot? I'm sorry.
But yeah, so it's a good time for Star Wars. As a fan, our Nerd Mafia loves our emoji bombs. He loves the emoji rain. It's just a fun way for him to interact.
It's been unleashing the whole night.
I love it. It's probably my favorite thing.
You hear me typing?
Yeah, I hear you typing. I see it in there. It's fantastic. All right, so leading up to next week, what are we the most excited about in Mando? Are we excited that we're going to get some Mandalorian on Mandalorian crime? Are we excited that the armor is going back to Mandalore? Are we excited that we get to see Bo-Katan in the Night Owl throne room? What leading to Mando? Because this is the last week Bad Batch is going to get any attention. So I feel like let's just get out of here with some Mando talk before that's all it is next week and everybody's on it. And next week we'll give some Bad Batch some love on our pre-show. But yeah, they're taking the back seat, guys. Get the back of the bus. Sorry, everybody. Behind the yellow line, please. Mando and Grogu are piloting the ship now. So step behind the yellow line and get out of here. So
hopefully it doesn't take 4 episodes for him to get baptized. I hope he can get down into the mines like sooner rather than later. Personally,
I'm okay with it if it happens in 4 episodes because we still have the rest of the season, and they could set up a lot of stuff in that first 4 episodes along with him, going to Mandalore to be baptized or whatever. But as far as the premiere goes, you think back to season 1 and season 2, and the premieres have been pretty freaking epic premieres. We had Grogu revealed at the end of the first episode, along with the introduction to the whole show, which probably one of the best scenes in the entire show as it is. And then at the end of the season 2 episode that also brings in Cobb Vanth, we get the confirmation that yes, Boba Fett has returned. So I'm expecting a big kind of reveal or something big in this premiere, because they've already given us big premieres in the past. And my big theory still is that we're going to see Luke Skywalker again, and that Mando is going to bring Grogu back to him, because he was never explained. He was never explained why Grogu showed up in the Book of Boba Fett.
I think
No,
you're
come on,
reaching.
bro. Everybody, reaching, girl. We're not going to see another. We're not going to see.
Didn't they introduce Grogu in episode 1?
Luke had his chance, and he gave the kid back. I don't want to see him no more. Fuck Luke right now.
Oh, Luke's already canceled. Damn, we don't even need to catch up to the sequels.
I mean, Luke
not
is
my Luke
already-
Skywalker.
We're not going to see Luke again until the cinematic event.
Damn.
Luke's done. Put a
And
fork in
then
him.
we're getting Sebastian Stan Luke.
Cool.
Yeah.
Love it. But that ship has sailed. They're not going to use these cameos. They don't have time for all of that. Right? There's only select amount of episodes. There's only so much time to tell their story. You can't boomerang back to Luke Skywalker every single time the Mandalorian steps on set. It's ridiculous, dude. You don't need him. He doesn't further the story at all. Right? You want an explanation as to why Grogu left. You have it. He chose a Mandalorian way over the Jedi way. It had to happen that way. Otherwise, Ben Solo is not the first student at Luke's new order.
Unless you're giving me that Jedi Academy series with Luke, that's only focused on Luke and the Jedi Academy. No, Luke.
Great. As Ben Solo as the first student. That's why Grogu had to leave.
I'm not saying that Grogu goes back for a very long time, though. I think it's just a confirmation to Mando and to really fully unlock those flashbacks that he's having of Order 66. That's something that they keep showing us in the previews. And I'm just saying, that would be a crazy premiere for them to do, equivalent to that of showing us Grogu and Boba Fett. Give us Luke Skywalker again and show us the continuation or the ending of that flashback.
So the fandom can say it's all downhill from there? So the fandom can say, "Oh, this show sucks from there." Luke's gone, right? Really, dude? Because that's that's how it goes, right?
Also,
who cares what they say at this point? Just tell the story that you're going to, Dave and John, and this would be a fantastic thing to do, especially with all the previews of
it's already been.
I'll never stop,
like
I'll never stop.
You already retconned the fact that there are Jedi survivors, so I just say, God damn it, put in the sequel trilogy that some of Luke's kids were in the basement hiding out and they didn't get burned. Maybe they'll fight.
No. That's a fundamental part. That's a fundamental part. You can't.
It's already broken. No more.
No. Look, it's real simple, bro. Every student has to die. All of them. Every student that he has to. That's not Ben Solo. Has to die.
Except the ones that ran off with him.
Right? No, all of them. They all got to go because he's got to see every face that pushes him over the edge to remove himself from the equation, right? That's a fundamental part of why Luke is the new Luke is the new Luke.
The only reason I'm even giving the sequel trilogy some extra flavor is because I don't want to see their, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, give them some like shit to do. Like, the choices in the sequel suck, bro. I'm trying to help them out. Like, give them some life. So fuck with me, Obsession. Like,
look, I mean, it ultimately comes down to Grogu, right? I agree. Grogu's going to come back to the Force eventually, but I think that's why they're also teasing that that Rey and Grogu rumor. Because I don't think he will go back to a life of a Jedi until after Din is dead, right? I think he has to have a reason to completely walk away from his old life and go back to the Jedi, and that's going to take probably 20 years, 30 years.
Why does he have to be a Jedi?
It's going to take.
Are we
he doesn't
overlooking? Are we kind of not overlooking the fact that like Grogu's in the same position that Cal is in? Why is Grogu not going to just be able to follow the Force himself and learn?
Right,
the way that Cal is.
And I think that happens potentially after Din goes, right? I think Din is what's holding him to this Mandalorian, to this he's following his heart, man. He's He loves that dude, right?
Well,
So
and my other concern also that I think a lot of people are missing here is like everyone wants him to be attached to Din so bad, and I don't think that him being attached to him like a father is a great thing.
I don't, but see, that could be the twist that comes with that Rey and Grogu thing later, is that maybe
saying.
Grogu goes dark side because he didn't have anybody to teach him, like you were saying before, right? Like you and I have had this conversation, maybe because his attachment to Din drives him to the dark side. No one's like,
Bro,
don't
he's
force
out here
choke that
raw
guy.
dogging the Force. And the
Don't-
last
don't-
thing he
don't
saw
force
was
choke
Order
that guy.
66.
Don't force disintegrate that guy. Don't do any of that crazy stuff. Stop it, Grogu. No one's there to tell him that. Din's like, hey, you saved my life. Good job, little dude. Right?
Yeah,
Like,
he's about to choke out Cara Dune over an arm wrestling match.
thing. Like, there's no one like,
Or
Grogu. There's no
maybe
one sitting in the
Grogu's following.
Grogu, no. Grogu, stop choking. Stop choking him.
right. There's no one saying
Drop the
that.
frog.
So, I mean, it just seems like
So weird.
giving him that ultimatum and saying choose was a mistake on Luke's end, because that's just an excuse for Grogu to grow attachments and eventually go dark side. Right.
This
It's
is what
just-
Conor was talking about, though.
But
That
it's-
scene was where the continuity was off. We talked about this before.
But it's exactly a part of Luke's character in the EU when he let his students choose love.
Right. Then that's what I'm saying. It's not, the continuity is not off, because Ben Solo has to be the first student to make the continuity work. So Grogu's got to go.
That's where that's where I see the continuity. I see the continuity being off when they made the sequels. That's what I see.
And like I said, I think
Return of
I
the
think, like,
Jedi, Empire. Attachment is what drove him to win. That's what was wrong with the Jedi to begin with. And then
well,
we
but
just went back
that's why Ahsoka is such an interesting character for people, because she lives that life like the Bendu. She lives that life in the middle. There is no more good or bad. There is what is right and just, right? And that's why I think the Ahsoka show is going to be a little darker than people think, because she's realized that light and dark are the same, two sides of the same coin.
So, like,
Right.
do you think Jude Law in Skeleton Crew is playing Ahsoka's love interest, or Laura Santeca? Is he playing somebody important?
I mean, I would think you would have to be, right?
I think
Jude
it's
Law.
important to the show, but I don't think it's going to be Lor Santeca like a lot of us were kind of maybe hoping, or like, just thinking it could potentially be that. I think it's
But
going to
if
be a new
you're talking
character.
about all roads lead to the sequels. Let's fucking go to the sequels with it.
I don't think they do. I think you guys are missing it.
I'm sorry.
Go Beyond, all that stuff we're talking about, that's a branch away from the sequels.
So
The
still
thing
having
about the
same time.
sequels is they happen so far after everything.
Yeah, sequels go this
like,
way, we go.
There's
But-
still another like 25 years until we get there.
No, I'm with you on that, but I brought this up last stream too. Ray and them are doing shit in Virginia. Ahsoka's in New York in the New Beyond. That's why no one is in the sequels, because they're dealing with shit in the New Beyond.
Ray looked down south, she was like, fuck that. Staying up here.
Okay, so I do want to close this out so everybody has time to get their stuff done before tonight. So we're going to close it with this last question. They going to write her out, or are they going to kill her?
Who?
Is Cara Dune
Cara
going to
Dune.
set off into the sunset and do her own thing, or are they going to kill her?
I think.
I think that
How do they
I
write
think
her
she's
off?
gonna die.
I think they're just not even going to address it.
They might not.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to say a single.
Oh yeah,
thing
she'll never be
about the
mentioned
character.
ever again.
Not a
in
word.
Star Wars.
Yeah, honestly,
I
I'll be
think-
shocked
Not a
if they
chance.
do.
I think the way they should do it is have her go explore something out in the outer regions or in the New Beyond or whatever they want to call it now, and have it be that she was checking out some pretty dark side stuff and we never heard from her again.
Season 3.
They're never going back to that planet wherever they left her.
Season
They pulled the plug before her show started. Because
Bill-
at
Bill
that
Burr
point, they
comes
couldn't
back.
anymore.
Season 3.
Bill Burr comes back, he's like, I don't know what happened to us.
Cara Dune.
I mean, there's a lot of no addressed in the chat. There's a
Yeah,
lot of
she won't
she's
be
off
talking.
world. I say give her the axe, bro.
She
Yeah.
wasn't an important character enough yet. But if she
Cara-
started
Cara,
that show,
Oh no!
But she was there with
Done. Checkmate. See you, sucker.
God.
My brain
I mean,
says she won't be
she ain't
mentioned,
coming
but my
back,
heart
dog.
says please do, because I got this Funko right here, and I'd like
ain't
to
coming
tell you to
Yeah,
go
I
up.
got,
Right,
Cara
right.
Dune- I got some Cara Dune action figures down there that I want that might get autographed because they're going to be collectibles one day. But I mean, she's not coming back, right?
No,
I mean, the bridge
is
hasn't
mentioned.
just been burnt. The bridge has been burnt,
Oh,
and then they took the ashes and they made them into a diamond, and then they used
All right,
that
guys,
diamond for
I
like a
gotta
laser or something that blew up. Like she's
gotta go.
gone, baby.
And then they peed on
Yeah.
it.
Later, Dan. Be safe.
Peace, dude.
I just
I
think
think if
it's
it's yeah, if they address it, it's going to be Grief Karga talking about it real quickly. It's going to be a one-line, one-off thing.
100%.
That's it, if they do it. But even that, I don't think they're going to say. I don't think they're going to say a word.
he offers Din her old place.
takes her to takes Din to her grave.
Hmm.
You're like, well,
Ooh,
she got
No,
eaten
he-
by the Rancor.
what's going that
It was,
far?
it was a mistake, but somebody brought a Rancor here and they ate her, so we could only bury half of her.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Here lies half of Cardoon.
Half of Cara Dune is laid here. Yeah, I think they should just kill her off, let it be done, because she's never coming back. She's made it very clear that her rift with the mainstream Hollywood and mainstream Disney is over. So I think she would be perfectly happy if the character had no more viability. Recasting is a mistake. Don't recast.
That
would be
recast.
that would be the worst.
So,
in my
have you
opinion.
guys seen the latest kind of push for a character to take over her recently? The girl that plays one of the Imperial officers in season 2 is in
Look kinda
Ant-Man
like
and
her.
the Wasp: Quantumania. She does look
She
similar,
she
decently
would
similar.
need to yoke out.
No, dude, I don't know if you
that
saw
suit.
Ant-Man and the Wasp,
Mhm.
but she's yoked in that.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
actually
she was
pretty
jacked.
yoked.
Yeah, yeah,
That's why people were even saying that, because I was even surprised.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, dude, she's bigger than I am. You know what I mean?
Why
Like,
don't they just
I'm
do
like,
that?
It
I
would
mean,
be
they
cool.
could,
I don't
but-
think they actually will.
I don't like recasts
No
in general.
balls.
I mean, ever
Not
since
necessary.
Bewitched back in the day, I've never been a big recast guy.
Nice.
Especially
Don
in Star
Cheadle, probably
Wars.
the biggest thing, best thing.
Don Cheadle in Iron Man, that was a big. I mean, that was a big thing. You know, I'm not a big.
That's the thing I'm saying though, especially in Star Wars, because at least Marvel could be like, "Oh, it was an alternate universe." You know what I mean? Like,
Nah,
you
they
can't
said
do
that
in
guy.
Star
That guy
Wars.
sucked. We got rid of him.
Star Wars fans are less forgiving. Like they're ruthless, dude. This fandom is
No way.
ruthless. No, don't forget about it.
I don't know.
Never.
I don't see
Pretty
it.
savages.
They're savage, dude. So yeah, I think recast is a mistake. Just have her eat a thermal detonator, have her get eaten by a rancor, like something crazy. Just be
You
done.
don't even need to mention her though.
You don't.
You don't have to
But if
stoke the flame at all. Nothing.
yeah, they
it's
will
hard-
not at all.
It's
All
hard
the
for a homie to go
scenarios.
back to a kid's neighborhood and not go look up the homies. That's all I'm saying, right? And Din's gonna go try to look up the homie, and
Din literally has tunnel vision, dude. He's not. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
I hope
Replace
so.
her
I
with-
hope- I hope so. The only reason I say
Like
that is
Val
because when he
Kilmer.
needed backup, he went to her before, and he's not a guy that trusts easily. That's the only reason I could see that they have
More
to write
Carson Teva instead.
you
Just
know.
give us more Carson Teva.
Yeah,
That'll
give
be
us.
fine.
I just, I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting because the fandom is divided. Even on this subject, I find half of them love Gina and half of them don't, and so I don't really care about the person, neither here or there. But if the person isn't going to come act in the show, then don't recast. Just let her eat her laser and be done. So
I like to think that her Star Wars career was just like the sequels of her life. Because, like, honestly, leading up to her Star Wars, I mean, she was kind of a decent person. I'm just
look,
saying.
I'm a big fan of Gina Carano pre-television, right? Pre-movies. The woman was a savage in the cage, right? Fuck Ronda Rousey, that whole generation of fighters. Gina Carano was a boss and is a boss. Her decisions over her career and her stuff, your choice, man. Have a good time. Taken out by an Inquisitor. Love it. But ultimately, people are going to do them. And
She was in
I
Deadpool.
wish her the best, dude. Honestly, I've got no ill will towards her. I just hate that she's not in Star Wars and that she hates Star Wars so much now. That's all. Because I really enjoyed her playing the character because she beat the shit out of people on television. That's always great to see. So I don't want anybody to think that I'm shitting on her. I just think that If you're gonna,
She
if
was
she's
in
not gonna,
Deadpool, by the way, and her
Yep.
character is just like her.
Forgot
in
all
that
about
movie.
that.
exactly.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
look, I don't want to create any controversy, but ultimately, people make decisions. You make your bed, and you have to live in it. And she did, and the relationship is broken. So if you're not going to come back and do the character, then baby, bye. Call it a day. So that's kind of what I want to close on, because I know I saw some tweets about this. I saw some people writing about this, and I wanted to get some opinion, because I say don't recast. That's the number one. However
Yeah.
you choose to do with the character, do it. Just don't recast her. Give Gina that much respect. Right? That's how I feel. She did such a banger job. Don't let somebody come in and mess it up. Right? Because she did do a banger job when she was working for him. So anyway, thank you guys. I'm gonna close the stream out. So I'm gonna try to kick you guys out, even though you guys can come back in whenever you want. So right, yeah, and that's basically what I want to say. Look, I'm appreciative of this community. We are not a very large community. We're not a very vocal community. But it's a community that has a lot of fun, and that we do try to keep things positive and try to keep things in a good light. I'm very, very thankful for all of the support. Getting to 1,000 subscribers is a big deal. We've been working on that for a couple years. It's been a little slower, but now that we're there, we are going to start discussing more of the giveaway stuff, and the celebration stream will be coming shortly. But I wanted to thank you guys, everybody who's here. Again, thank you, Opus, for letting us play with your technology. It is a lot of fun. The guys here really enjoy it, and we choose to use you more. And to the community, you guys, I appreciate it, because you don't have to be here. If we do happen to get monetized, I'm going to take some things down and try to play the game a little bit to try to get monetized. But if we do get monetized, there's going to be a lot more. The membership stuff is going to be for you. So anything that comes here to the stream will go back out to you guys in forms of whatever you want. So much like the giveaways, we're giving away the PlayStation, we're giving away Jedi Survivor. I've got a couple other things. I think maybe some helmets and stuff. But ultimately, this stuff is for you. So again, it is a big thank you to you guys, everybody who has made this possible. I thank you guys, all the people who come on stream on a regular basis. Our buddies over at the Matt Cave, Hawks Holocron, Sheev, and Nerd Mafia, and all the guys that come on a regular basis. I thank you guys. Dan the man, I know you got problems, but we're gonna, we always love having you here. And thank you guys. So as always, I'm gonna close this out the same way I always close the streams out. Don't forget to get out there, get your pet spayed neutered, help control the pet population. And as always, thank you for being here, and may the force be with you. Have a great night. We'll see you next week. Take care.